Hey guys, I thought I would do a little coloring. Just kind of talk about my thoughts on Mandalorian season two. Well, kind of Mandalorian as a whole, the whole series, season one and season two. Just gonna color and talk. So, this will be very light spoilers at first. Well, yeah, we'll do no spoilers at first, and then when I get into what I'm talking about spoilers, I'll just let y'all know. Um, Hopefully, you guys have all seen it. More than spoilers, as far as like really important stuff, it's going to be more just kind of stuff that I observed, stuff that I thought was odd. Um, so, first thing, obviously, we're coloring this little creature, which everybody knows. Most people call him Baby Yoda. And that I totally blame the writers for not giving him a name till season two. And I mean, that's kind of what happens when you don't give him a name and he doesn't have a species. And so, if they had never called Chewbacca Wookiee, and there was a new Wookiee introduced, we would just all call him Baby Chewbacca because we wouldn't know what else to call him. So it's one of those things to where, I thought that was odd when they first did it that they didn't give him a name. They called it the child for like merchandising and stuff. But and I do understand why they did it. I just think it was just a odd choice of doing it. So, but anyways, that being said, um, I think everybody loves this little fella, and so figured I'd color him. So got these little coloring things. They're by Crayola. They're like called I think Edge Art with Edge, and there's all kinds. I've seen Batman, superheroes, just tons of them. Anyways, chances are there's a fandom you like that's in there, and I picked mine up at Walmart, but I'm sure you can get them online cheaper or somewhere else. So this is just going to be something with. I'm using a highlighter, just nothing fancy, a little Sharpie highlighter. I might go through later and maybe touch it up with some other uh, markers, but we'll just kind of see where it goes from here. I'm liking the way this is looking. So, um, back to the series. Thought it was really good. Really enjoyed the, you know, what they had done. As a whole, I've not really been a big fan of the Disney acquisition. Um, and my biggest problem is it feels like for, you know what, I'm gonna just do spoilers for the whole Star Wars experience. If it's a comic I've read or a book, if it's anything involving Star Wars that uh, I like, from here on out, it's going to be relatively light spoilers. I'm not going to get into details about big stuff, but for anybody who's obviously seen the original Star Wars, I'm obviously going to mention about Darth Vader and his story, that kind of stuff. If it's somebody obviously that has like a very minor role, I'm not gonna like, I want y'all to know what happened to Admiral Akbar in this episode. I'm not gonna do that. But if it's something that I feel is important for story purposes, as far as like me and my thoughts, I will talk about it. So you've been warned. If you really just want to finish seeing me uh, color this little fella, then you can probably find a better picture uh, than the one I'm doing. So, but anyways, if you do want to see it, I'll probably post just the final picture, maybe on Twitter. And if you guys don't have my Twitter, just ask me down below, and I'll send you my Twitter link. So that being said, I'm going to start talking about a little bit more in-depth things. So as far as Disney, I don't think that they really knew what they were doing, and I still don't know how much they know what they're doing. Dave Filoni, I think, knows what he's doing. John Favreau, I think they know what they're doing. But as a whole, it doesn't really seem like the Lucasfilm story group and the people that make the movies, I don't think they're all on the same page like they kind of told us they were. So growing up in the 80s and 90s, after 1983, when Return of the Jedi hit the big screen, after that, we pretty much never had any really forward stories that were like what they called G canon back then, which was like George Lucas canon. George Lucas was like, yeah, you guys can tell stories, but they're not really going to be official and stuff. So there were stories about Chewbacca and Han and all the main characters that we grew up with, but George Lucas never really paid them no mind. And so there were, you know, video games, comics, books, novels, across the board, anything that could be kind of added to their kind of story, they would. But anyways, but that to be said was that they didn't really um, exist in like a a way that anybody really took serious. Like there were definitely fans that liked it, but it was very contradictory, and they very much kind of just um, took advantage of the property and kind of wrote their own stories. That's what a lot of the artists and writers, kind of the way I saw it. Uh, you know, um, they would bring, say, Boba Fett back to life in like the old EU, and obviously Boba Fett fans like that because they wanted to see more of their favorite guy. And then obviously there were people that were like, no, he's dead and he should stay dead. And George Lucas even in one of his Blu-ray commentaries says that he even thought about adding a post-credit scene where Boba Fett escaped the Sarlacc pit, but he knew that if you do that, then people would expect to see a Boba Fett movie like Old Man Boba Fett. And anyways, because that didn't happen, because he didn't make that kind of thing, it was always kind of left up in limbo. And the books and stuff said that he had escaped, and most of the comics and the EU stuff said that. And but then there were people that liked that and didn't like it. So. But going all back to, so it's always been around. Like there's always been that kind of divide between the comics, the movies, and the other stuff. When the Clone Wars cartoon originally came out, I really wasn't all that interested in it. I was just like, no, I like the movies and that's it. But then over time, I kind of grew on to it. More story on that later. If you guys want to know. Um, Sorry, the camera's shaking. If you guys want to know more about that, just leave a comment below and we can talk about it later. But I don't think that they did a great job naming this guy. Grogu in season 2. Not that that's not a cool name, I think it's a great name. But I think that they really missed an opportunity because I think everybody now is just going to call him Baby Yoda. So I was talking to my parents the other day, and they know about Baby Yoda. They've seen some of my toys, and they've heard me talk about it, but they don't really know all about it. And so my dad or my mom were confused about it, and I said, "Well, it's not really Baby Yoda." And they're like, "Well, what do you mean it's not really Baby Yoda?" I said, "Well, it's just a little guy like Yoda that's not really him." They're like, "So it's not Baby Yoda?" And I'm like, "No, it's not Baby Yoda." So all the people that don't have a Disney subscription or like, watch it with their friends or something, I go over to my buddy's house every week and pretty much, and we watch episode of Mandalorian when it's coming on and chit chat. And that's just kind of how I experience it because I'm not a huge Disney fan. I like Star Wars and I like the MCU. And up until now, I've been able to just get everything I wanted on Blu-ray or DVD or 4K, and I would far rather have that than a streaming service. And I think the whole streaming service thing, not a fan of it. Not a fan of World of Warcraft being a subscription-based service, and uh, not really gonna get into all the things on why I don't like that stuff. But long story short is I would rather just be able to own something, have it, not need the internet, not need all the other stuff. So I definitely think that those games are fun and cool, and they have their merit, but not for me. So that being said, uh, they really missed out on an opportunity with old little Grogu getting his name out there. So, um, but is what it is. I don't think there's a whole lot more else I can do with just these basic colors. So I'm gonna do the rest. Will be kind of yellow and orange, and we'll kind of go from there. That looks pretty nice, I think. Definitely not perfect, but good enough. So little old Grogu. Uh, Another thing that kind of was really enjoyed, season finale of of series two of season two of the Mandalorian. Loved it the very end when they had the character reveal, who I think everybody kind of knew who it was going to be, and they were all excited to see him in his prime and his glory. And I will say this: the CGI kind of like it seems like it's almost like a deep fake technology in order to recreate that character in his youth and prime. Um, I thought it's Luke. So I thought that was kind of odd that they did such an, I don't want to say a poor job, but when you see that they did it in episode 9 much better, and I'm sure they had a lot more time and money. I do get that. I'm not idiot. But when you see it done really well, and I won't even say it was done really well in episode 9, but it was done much better in episode 9. And then you see it done less well. It's easier to kind of just as things get better to see things go up. You don't notice the difference when things get better. You always notice the things. You always notice stuff when it gets worse. That's just kind of human nature. If you're making X amount of money and then you get a raise, that's not nearly as what I would call noticeable as if you get a pay cut, um, for obvious reasons. So whenever you see them do a decent job in one iteration, and then year or so later, same character, same actor, and now he looks noticeably different. And I thought the hair was odd. And I think if they would have given him a beard and left the cloak, like left the hood over more, I think it would have looked a whole lot nicer. I think they could have done a far better job if they had just left the cloak, the hooded cloak on. Now, maybe people are like, yeah, that was just too much of a cheap shot or something, but I think if they would have brought in the guy, would have had his hood stay on the whole time, maybe give him a beard, I think they could have gotten away with a whole lot more, and it would have been a lot less noticeable. So that's my opinion. So you can definitely tell I'm not a very good colorer. So it is what it is. But I am going to try some of my nice Prismacolors and see if I can't salvage this. So, well, that's too green. Is that even showing up different up here? There we go. I think that looks all right. Look at his little bitty wrinkly forehead. He's just a little baby Yoda. So, overall, I was quite happy with the series. Once again, I thought there were some odd things. I will say, as someone who's seen Rebels and Clone Wars, there are just kind of odd choices that they're making, which I understand why they're making them. I just think they're odd. So, Mando not being able to remove his helmet, once again, that's like, they did explain how that's like, I guess, his kind of cult or whatever, but my issue with the Lucasfilm story group, all the stuff, they actually do seem to contradict themselves a lot more than most stuff. Like, they will say how, how George Lucas would in Clone Wars said Boba Fett and Jango weren't Mandalorians, which, then they say about how they're foundlings and all that kind of stuff. And they're just trying to kind of show how that guy was just like a jerk or something. But they kind of go back and forth with it, because in the last episode, or the episode where Boba Fett gets his armor back, he basically says he's a Mandalorian. And then in this episode, second to last, I think it was the one where they say something about him being a Mandalorian, or he's not a Mandalorian, and he says, "I never said I was." And so they very much are just like intentionally kind of hot riding the fence. At one point they say he is, and one point they say he's not. And I think that as a storyteller, unless you're trying to prove something, or unless you're like trying to like maybe make a twist, it doesn't seem like it's a great idea to keep the fans guessing if he is or if he isn't. If the whole point is they're trying to tell you what a Mandalorian is up to you. Like, you kind of decide. I guess that could work, but that's not really ever what Star Wars has ever been. Star Wars has always been, for the most part, straightforward. And not saying that there aren't things like Obi-Wan saying that Darth Vader killed his father. Like, that's in there, and it's meant to be that way. And that's trying to teach you kind of something about perspective and the way people see things. So that, you can tell it's kind of written with the intention on, Obi-Wan is kind of quote unquote lying, or, kind of, telling story the way he sees it, sort of thing, rather than like just being upfront. But the thing is that they very much want you as the audience to consider Anakin Skywalker dead from the beginning, and who he's supposed to be is, Luke thought he was a spice trader, and no, well, he's a warrior, and well, no, he's Darth Vader, and it's meant to take you on the journey that Luke is on, where Luke is discovering these things for the first time. It very much infers that Obi-Wan and Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru and them, they all know Vader is Anakin. It doesn't ever really say that, I don't think, with Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, but it does infer that they know it. And maybe that was something that George Lucas added or something later, but whenever I got the impression, it always seemed like everybody was kind of in on it but Luke, which I thought was good. I thought that was a good way to kind of have that bit of a story told. So, I got these. I imagine they're alcohol markers. I really don't know, but I got them at Five Below, and it was there was a, let's see if I have it. There was a yellow, a peach, um, a black, and oh, a blue. So I got these at Five Below, and it was this, and it came with like I think like a sketch pad and like a how to draw something. Got this probably a couple years back, but anyways, super great deal for just some cheap um, pins. They are dual tip, so they have thin side and thick side. So you know, I probably should have used this for the inside of his ear, but oh well. And I think for the most part, I think it's all one main color for his clothes. So let's see if this looks a little better on this side. Alrighty. So, but there's a lot of things that I liked about that. About Mandalorian is that they really brought the kind of the criminal, the bounty hunter, scum and villainy sort of stuff um, to screen, which we've always seen bits and pieces of it. You know, George Lucas obviously made Han and Chewie and those guys all sort of be part of that. But I really felt that they took it a step further with the Mandalorian, which I really liked. I thought that was really well done. So I think that looks decently well. So looks like my markers are all drying up. I think I'll try something. I'll try this regular yellow, just kind of everywhere. So the post-credit scene was really cool. I always kind of liked Bib Fortuna, so I thought it was odd what happened the way that happened. Not like he's a good guy. I think he's like a scummy bad guy, but I did not expect them to do what they did. I'm pretty sure they brought in the actor that played him in the prequels, which I thought was really cool. I always love seeing that they bring those same actors back. It makes it a very immersive sort of experience. So, yeah, here's Baby Yoda and his splendor and glory. And I know I should be calling him Grogu. When that first happened, I kept on telling people, he's not Baby Yoda, he's not Baby Yoda. And now I just, okay, he's Baby Yoda. Just because I got tired of trying to say it was not Baby Yoda. So now I'm saying he's Baby Yoda. So I partially say that because I'm kind of on non-spoilery sort of mode, and then I'm like switching back and forth. So it's hard for me to remember if I'm being spoilery talk or not. So, but Here's the child. He looks so pretty. And I'll probably later on go back and do some other stuff. But I was pretty excited. I think they're gonna have another season in like a year from now, maybe two. Just depends on how the show gets done. I think they're recording season 3 right now, so hopefully we get to see some stuff. But I actually like. I will say some things. I really like the weekly schedule. You know, I grew up with TV not being streamed and binge watched, and so I thought that was really cool that they did that. You know, it's like anything else. Everybody always wants more and more, faster, faster, now. But I think they did the right thing with doing the overtime um, release schedule. So thought that was really nice, and hopefully we get to see more streaming services do rather than binge drops, to see them do slow, steady drop. So we will see. Let me see if I can get a little bit out of this green. So I'm not very good at like adding shadow and shade and highlights. So if anybody is and they want to give me some advice, I'd love to take it. That's my best attempt at doing some shading in his little hand. Not very good, obviously, but this is what I got. So if you guys would like to see me do some more just coloring pages and talking about Star Wars, then let me know, and I'll definitely can do more of that. If you guys really don't like this, let me know so that I don't make any more content that you guys don't like. As always, subscribe to the channel so that I can do this. I'm trying to post as often as I can, and it's always these kind of random hours, and so I never know when it's going to get posted. So you guys please subscribe, like or dislike. I really don't care which. I would dislike this because I don't think it looks all that great and there was nothing special and informative. But maybe somebody out there really likes this. If you guys really like it, definitely let me know so that I can keep making stuff like this. See, I think all these markers are about to die. So I'm going to go over with my Sharpie. I guess these Sharpie markers are going to be the only thing, and even those guys seem to have a little bit of trouble. There's just a lot to mark. So I will tell you. Oh, and it looks like I'm about to max out my thing, so this is roughly 29 minutes. Here's the thing. I had fun, and so we'll see it again.